Humans? You are worried about humans? Commander Vazix laughed, his four nostrils flaring in amusement. Those bipedal water bags couldn't possibly pose a threat to our invasion force. I wanted to slap him. Really, I did. But in the Galactic Fleet, subordinate officers don't slap their commanders, no matter how monumentally stupid they are being. Sir, with all due respect, I said, trying to keep my voice steady, 3 reconnaissance squads have gone missing in Earth's orbit. 3. That's 36 of our best scouts, gone without even a distress signal. Commander Vazix waved one of his tentacles dismissively, and his skin, normally a healthy purple, flushed to an annoying shade of pink. A sure sign he wasn't taking this seriously. Probably equipment malfunction, Captain Naren, or perhaps they crashed into some space debris. Humans have littered their orbit with junk, typical of their species, messy, disorganized, and primitive. The command bridge of the Dominator fell silent. Our flagship, the pride of the Zolarian Empire, hovered just beyond Saturn's rings. Earth was merely a blue dot from here, innocent-looking and deceptively peaceful. The reports from our intelligence division suggest otherwise, sir, I persisted. The humans have advanced significantly since our last assessment 50 years ago. They have developed quantum computing, rudimentary force fields, and may have reverse-engineered technology from the Cruxian scout ship that crashed in their Nevada region. Bah, rumors and exaggerations. Vazix turned to the tactical display. Captain Naren, you have always been overly cautious. That's why you are still a captain after 90 cycles of service. The insult stung, but I kept my composure. Vazix had been promoted to commander because his spawning parent was High Admiral Kulon. Not because of any tactical brilliance. The idiot couldn't strategize his way out of a food dispenser. The invasion will proceed as planned, Vazix announced to the bridge crew. We will send the first wave tomorrow. 10,000 warriors, our finest battle cruisers, and enough firepower to turn their major cities to glass. The humans will surrender within days, and we will add Earth to our empire without breaking a sweat. Science Officer Talara caught my eye from across the bridge and subtly shook her head. At least someone else shared my concerns. Sir, I tried one more time. Perhaps we should send another reconnaissance team. Just to be certain. Denied. Vazix snapped. I won't delay the invasion because of your paranoia, Captain. You are dismissed. I saluted stiffly and left the bridge, my frustration building with each step. In the corridor, Talara caught up with me, her 6 legs clicking rapidly on the metal floor. He's making a terrible mistake, she whispered, her antenna twitching anxiously. The data doesn't lie, Naren. Something happened to those scout ships. I know, I sighed. But what can we do? Vazix has the High Admiral's backing. Talara pulled me into an empty conference room, checking that the door sealed properly behind us. What if we conducted our own reconnaissance? Unofficial, of course. I stared at her. That's borderline treason, Talara. So is leading 10,000 warriors into a potential trap because you are too arrogant to gather proper intelligence, she countered. Look at this. She projected a hologram from her wrist device. It showed Earth's night side, focusing on North America. Tiny pinpricks of light appeared, moving in formation high above the atmosphere. What am I looking at? I asked. Satellites, Talara said, but not communication or weather satellites. These are moving in coordinated patterns, adjusting their orbits regularly. They are tracking something. Or they are weapons platforms, I muttered. Precisely. And there's more. The hologram shifted to show a heat signature on the dark side of Earth's moon. This structure wasn't there 20 years ago during our last survey. My blood ran cold. A lunar base? A very large lunar base, with regular shuttle traffic to and from Earth. The humans have established themselves beyond their planet. They are expanding. I ran a hand over my face, feeling the rough texture of my scales. Vazix needs to see this. I showed him yesterday, Talara said bitterly. He dismissed it as primitive human construction and said it posed no threat. "That imbecile is going to get us all killed," I growled. Talara's eyes, all four of them, locked onto mine. "So what are we going to do about it?" The next 6 hours were a blur of covert planning and calculated risk. Talara and I recruited 2 others who shared our concerns: Navigation Officer Plex, a veteran of 3 campaigns, and Security Chief Dorna, whose instincts were legendary among the fleet. We borrowed a stealth shuttle, officially logging it as undergoing maintenance. With Plex's expertise, we slipped away from the fleet undetected, accelerating toward Earth at maximum speed. "If we are caught, it's the execution chamber for all of us," Dorna remarked casually, checking her plasma rifle for the 3rd time. "If Vazix sends our warriors in blind, there won't be enough of us left to execute," I replied. The journey to Earth took just under 7 hours in our advanced craft. We approached the night side, aiming for a high orbit that should have kept us safely above their detection capabilities. Should have. "Yen, proximity alert." Plex shouted, his webbed fingers flying across the controls. Multiple objects approaching, high velocity. "Evasive maneuvers," I ordered. "Talara, what are we dealing with?" She hunched over her scanner. "Small, unmanned craft. Dozens of them. They are adjusting course to intercept us." "The defensive system's online," Dorna reported. "But if we fire, we will give away our position to any other sensors in the area." I hesitated. Our mission was reconnaissance, not engagement. "Hold fire." "Plex, can you outrun them?" "Trying, Captain, but they are fast. Really fast." Sweat beaded on his amphibian skin. "They are predicting our course changes before we make them." "That's impossible," I snapped. "Their technology isn't that advanced." "Apparently it is," Talara said quietly. "Captain, these aren't just drones. They are coordinating with each other, sharing targeting data. It's a network defense system." The shuttle shuddered as the first projectile grazed our hull. "Minimal damage," Dorna reported. "But that was just a warning shot. The next one will hit us dead center." "Open a channel," I decided. "All frequencies." "What? You want to talk to them?" Plex looked at me like I'd grown a second head. "If they wanted us dead, that first shot would have been perfect," I explained. "They are hurting us. I want to know why." Talara established the communication link. Channel open, broadcasting in standard galactic translator protocols. I took a deep breath. "This is Captain Nerin of the Zolarian Empire. We are on a peaceful reconnaissance mission. Please respond." Silence stretched for several seconds. Then a voice came through, speaking perfect Zolarian. "Captain Nerin, this is General Maya Patel of Earth Defense Command. You are in restricted space. Power down your weapons and propulsion systems immediately." My crew looked at me in shock. How did they know our language? "They shouldn't be able to speak Zolarian," Dorna whispered. "General Patel," I responded, trying to hide my surprise, "we mean no harm. We are simply gathering information." "Information on Earth's defenses, no doubt," the human replied, "in preparation for your invasion fleet hiding behind Saturn. Did Commander Vazix send you?" My heart's nearly stopped. They knew about Vazix? About our fleet position? "How do you?" I began. "Power down now, Captain," Patel interrupted. "Or we will be forced to disable your vessel. You have 30 seconds to comply." I looked at my crew. Dorna's hand hovered over the weapon's controls. Plex was poised to attempt another evasive run. Talara simply nodded at me. "Power down," I ordered. "All systems except life support and communications." "Captain," Dorna protested. "That's an order," I said firmly. "We came for information." "Let's get it." The shuttle's engines fell silent. The lights dimmed as we switched to emergency power. Around us, the human drones maintained their position, weapons locked on our vessel. "We have complied, General," I transmitted. "Now what?" "What?" "Now," General Patel said, You get the tour you came for. Welcome to Earth, Captain. Your education is about to begin. The larger vessel appeared from behind Earth's moon, approaching rapidly. It was sleek, far more advanced than anything humans should have been capable of building. "Telara," I whispered. "Are you recording all of this?" "Every bit," she confirmed, her voice shaking slightly. "And Captain? That ship's energy signature, it's using Cruxian technology. But they have improved it." The human vessel locked a tractor beam onto our shuttle, pulling us toward the lunar base we'd spotted earlier. As we drew closer, the true scale of the facility became apparent. It wasn't just a base, it was a massive complex sprawling across a lunar crater, with shipyards and defense installations that rivaled our own central command. "This is impossible," Plex murmured. 50 years ago, they could barely reach their moon." 50 years is a long time for humans, Telara reminded us. Their technological development doesn't follow normal patterns. It's exponential. General Patel's voice came through again. "I imagine you are surprised, Captain Naren. Your intelligence on us is woefully outdated. Allow me to bring you up to speed before your commander makes a catastrophic mistake." The tractor beam guided our shuttle into a massive hangar bay. Through the viewport, we could see dozens of ships in various stages of construction. Workers in advanced spacesuits moved around with purpose. Some weren't even wearing suits, suggesting the hangar was pressurized with breathable atmosphere. "You have been monitoring our communications," I realized aloud. "That's how you knew about Commander Vazix and our fleet position." "Among other things," Patel confirmed. "Your encryption was impressive 50 years ago. Now it's child's play to break. We have been listening to every transmission from your fleet since you entered our solar system 3 weeks ago." Our shuttle settled onto the hangar floor with a gentle thud. Outside, armed soldiers took position around our vessel. "You have 2 options, Captain," Patel continued. "You and your crew can exit peacefully for diplomatic discussions, or you can resist and be forcibly removed. Either way, you will be leaving that shuttle. But only one option ends with you returning to your fleet with vital information." I looked at my crew. "Opinions? We are massively outgunned," Dorna stated. "And I count at least 30 soldiers out there." "This technology shouldn't exist," Plex added. "We need to understand how they have advanced so quickly. If we don't return with concrete evidence, Vazix will proceed with the invasion anyway," Telara reminded us. I nodded, my decision made. "General Patel, we will exit peacefully for diplomatic discussions. But I need your assurance that my crew will remain unharmed." "You have my word, Captain," Patel responded. "We are not barbarians, despite what your empire might believe. The airlock is pressurized with an atmosphere compatible with your physiology. Please leave all weapons aboard your vessel." I gave the order, and we prepared to disembark. Before opening the hatch, I gathered my crew close. "Remember why we are here," I told them. "Observe everything. The survival of our invasion force depends on what we learn today. And if it turns out we can't win this fight?" Dorna asked quietly. I met her gaze steadily. "Then we need to gather enough evidence to convince Vazix to call off the invasion. One way or another, we are saving our people today." The airlock cycled open, and we stepped onto human territory, the first Zolarians to do so in 50 years. General Maya Patel waited for us, flanked by her security team. She was shorter than I expected, with dark skin and keen eyes that missed nothing. "Captain Naren," she greeted me, "welcome to Armstrong Base. I believe you and I have much to discuss about your invasion plans." Her calm confidence sent chills down my spine. I suddenly had the sinking feeling that Commander Vazix had greatly, perhaps fatally, underestimated these humans. And there might be no one left to warn him. General Patel led us through the Armstrong base with the casual confidence of someone showing tourists around a garden. Except this garden had quantum computing arrays, antimatter containment chambers, and weapons that made our advanced Zolarian tech look like children's toys. "Your previous reconnaissance missions failed because they triggered our automated defense grid," Patel explained as we walked. We didn't even need to engage them directly. The system identified, targeted, and neutralized all 36 of your scouts within minutes. Neutralized? I asked, dreading the answer. You mean destroyed? Patel glanced at me, her expression unreadable. Not exactly. Follow me. She led us down a corridor to a vast observation deck overlooking an even larger hangar than the one we'd landed in. Below us sat 3 Zolarian scout ships, intact but powerless, surrounded by human technicians who were systematically dismantling them. Your technology is fascinating, Patel remarked. Particularly your faster-than-light drive. We have been working on something similar, but your approach is quite elegant. We have learned a lot. And the crews? Telara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Alive and well, Patel assured us. We are not monsters, Captain. They are being treated according to all interstellar conventions on prisoners of war. Which, technically, they are, since they entered our space as part of an advance invasion force. You keep saying invasion, I noted. But how can you be so certain of our intentions? Patel laughed. It wasn't a pleasant sound. Because Commander Vazix has been broadcasting his plans across all subspace channels for weeks. Did you know your communications encryption hasn't been updated in 43 years? We cracked it during our first contact with your scout ships decades ago. I felt sick. Not only had we underestimated human technological advancement, but our own security protocols were apparently a joke. This way, Patel continued, leading us to another section. There's something else you should see. We entered what appeared to be a command center. Massive screens displayed real-time data from throughout the solar system. One screen in particular caught my attention. It showed our fleet's position near Saturn with alarming accuracy, including ship classifications and weapons capabilities. That's impossible, Dorna murmured. Our cloaking technology is based on bending light and absorbing radar, a human technician interrupted. He was older than Patel, with gray hair and a scar across his cheek. We don't rely on either. We detect the gravitational distortion your ships create, plus the neutrino emissions from your reactors. Captain Nerin, this is Dr. Anton Petrov, our chief of xenotechnology, Patel introduced. He's been studying your species and technology since our first encounter. First encounter? I questioned. You mean the Cruxian crash in Nevada? Petrov and Patel exchanged glances. That wasn't a Cruxian ship, Petrov said carefully. That was one of yours. A Zolarian scout that malfunctioned and crashed 53 years ago. We recovered the crew, 2 survived, and the technology. My mind raced. A Zolarian ship? Survivors? This contradicted everything in our historical records. That's not possible, Plex argued. Our records show. Your records show what your government wanted you to believe, Patel cut in. That no contact had been made, that humans were primitive and unaware of galactic civilization. The truth is quite different. She gestured to a nearby console, and a holographic display activated. It showed 2 Zolarians in what appeared to be a comfortable living environment. They looked older, their scales faded with age, but unmistakably Zolarian. Captain Solaris and Navigator Tuvix, Petrov identified them. They have been living on Earth for over 50 years, helping us prepare. Prepare for what? I asked, though I already knew the answer. For your invasion, of course, Patel replied. They warned us it was only a matter of time before the Zolarian Empire turned its attention back to Earth. So we got ready. The implications were staggering. 2 Zolarian defectors had given humans a half-century head start on preparing defenses specifically designed to counter our technology. I need to speak with them, I demanded. All in good time, Patel assured me. First, there's something else you should understand about why your invasion is doomed to fail. She led us to yet another section of the base, this one secured behind multiple biometric checkpoints. The room we entered was smaller, dominated by a single pedestal in the center. On it sat what appeared to be a small metallic cube, no larger than my palm. This, Patel said with unmistakable pride, is why you are going to call off your invasion. Dorna scoffed. A box? That's your secret weapon? Dr. Petrov smiled thinly. This box houses a quantum AI that controls our entire defense network. It processes information and makes tactical decisions approximately 10,000 times faster than your best combat computers. We call her ARIA, Patel added, Advanced Responsive Intelligence Array. She detected your fleet the moment you entered the Oort cloud, analyzed your capabilities, and developed 17 different countermeasures specifically tailored to your technology. Telara stepped closer, her scientific curiosity overcoming her caution. A true artificial intelligence? In such a small housing? Size isn't everything, Petrov quipped. Arya doesn't need much space. What she does need is power, which she gets from our antimatter reactors. I struggled to process what I was seeing. Antimatter reactors? Quantum AI? These technologies were theoretical even in our most advanced research divisions. How? I finally asked. How did you advance so quickly? Necessity, Patel replied simply. When we learned we weren't alone in the universe, and that at least one alien empire viewed us as a resource to be conquered, we united in ways previously thought impossible. Nations pooled their resources, scientists shared their research openly. Years and military development became our highest priority. Plus, Petrov added with a wry smile, your crashed ship gave us a significant head start. Reverse engineering alien technology is quite the motivator for rapid advancement. A notification chimed on Patel's wrist device. She checked it and nodded to herself. It seems our time is running short, she said. Commander Vazix has ordered your shuttle to return immediately. He's becoming suspicious of your unauthorized excursion. You are monitoring our internal communications too? I asked, though by now I shouldn't have been surprised. Of course, Patel confirmed. Now, Captain Nerin, you have a choice to make. Return to your fleet with proof of our capabilities and convince your commander to retreat, or stay here as our guest while we demonstrate those capabilities on your invasion force. What proof can I offer? I asked. Vazix is arrogant. He won't believe my word alone. We have prepared a data package, Petrov said, handing me a small device. Complete technical specifications of our defense systems, footage of your scout ships being disabled, and a personal message from your fellow Zolarians who have been living among us. I took the device, turning it over in my hands. And if Vazix doesn't believe this either? Paddle's expression hardened. Then what happens next is on his head, not yours. You tried to warn him. There's one more thing you should know, Captain, Petrov added. We have been broadcasting all our defense specifications on open channels for the past month. What? I was shocked. Why would you reveal your capabilities to an enemy? Because, Patel explained, we wanted to give you every opportunity to make the right decision. We don't want this conflict. We don't want to destroy your fleet. But make no mistake, we will if forced to defend ourselves. It's psychological warfare, Dorna realized aloud. You are showing your hand to make us doubt ourselves. Partly, Petrov agreed, but it's also a genuine attempt to avoid unnecessary bloodshed. What you have seen today is maybe 5% of our total defensive capability. We are hoping that's enough to convince you. We were escorted back to our shuttle in silence, each lost in our own thoughts. The implications were clear. If Vazix proceeded with the invasion, it would be a massacre of our forces, not the humans. Back aboard our vessel, with the hangar doors opening to space before us, Patel gave us one final message. You have 18 hours before Commander Vazix's planned first strike. That's how long you have to convince him to turn your fleet around and leave our solar system. After that, we will consider any Zolarian vessel crossing Mars' orbit as hostile and respond accordingly. The tractor beam released us, and Plex piloted our shuttle away from the lunar base, setting course back to the fleet. Do you think Vazix will listen? Telara asked once we were alone. He has to, I replied, though without much conviction. The evidence is irrefutable. Evidence can be ignored by those determined to see what they want to see, Dorna pointed out. And Vazix wants this invasion. It's his chance to prove himself to the High Admiral. Then we go above him, I decided. We take this directly to Admiral Kulon if necessary. The journey back was tense. We reviewed the data package the humans had provided, and it was even more disturbing than what we'd seen firsthand. Their defense grid extended throughout the solar system. Automated killer satellites with targeting systems more advanced than our best destroyers, missile platforms hidden within the asteroid belt, and most alarmingly, a fleet of warships that had somehow remained completely hidden from our long-range scans. They could have destroyed us at any time, Plex concluded. They have been watching us since we entered the system, and they let us approach. They want to avoid conflict if possible, Talara reasoned. Despite their capabilities, they are not aggressors. Yet, Dorna added ominously. When we docked with the Dominator, we were immediately surrounded by security forces. Commander Vazix was waiting, his face contorted with fury. Captain Naren, he spat, you are charged with treason, unauthorized use of military equipment, and desertion of your post. You and your accomplices will be placed under arrest pending tribunal. Commander, with respect, we have discovered critical intelligence about Earth's defenses, I protested. You need to see this immediately. I need to see nothing from traitors, Vazix sneered. The guards, take them to the brig. Sir, I shouted as the guards moved in. The humans know we are here. They have known all along. The invasion is walking into a trap. Something in my tone must have reached him, because Vazix paused, his hand raised to signal the guards. What nonsense is this? He demanded. Not nonsense, sir. Fact. I nodded to Talara, who activated the data device, projecting images of the lunar base, the captured scout ships, and the defensive grid. What trickery is this? Vazix asked, but there was uncertainty in his voice now. No trickery, Commander, I said. We made contact with the humans. They have been monitoring our communications, tracking our movements. They let us approach because they wanted to give us a chance to retreat peacefully. Impossible. Vazix sputtered. Their technology is far beyond what we anticipated. I finished for him. They have had 50 years to prepare, with help from Zolarian defectors who survived a crash on their planet. That got his attention. Defectors? What defectors? I showed him the footage of Captain Solaris and Navigator Tuvix, and Vazix's face drained of color. That's impossible, he whispered. Solaris and Tuvix died on a training mission 5 decades ago. No, sir. They crashed on Earth and helped the humans prepare for us, I explained. And now the humans are giving us 18 hours to leave their system before they consider us hostile. Vazix stared at the projections, his arrogance warring with the evidence before his eyes. Finally, he straightened his posture, his decision made. This changes nothing, he declared. These could be fabrications designed to undermine our resolve. The invasion proceeds as planned. Commander, please, Talara pleaded. You have seen the evidence. Our forces will be slaughtered. Yeah. That's enough. Vazix snapped. Guards, take them away. I want them confined until after our victory. As we were led away, I made one last desperate attempt. Contact High Admiral Kulon. Show him the evidence. He has to know what we are facing. Whether my words had any impact, I couldn't tell. We were thrown into the brig, all 4 of us sharing a single cell. Hours passed with no word from command. Through the small viewport in our cell, we could see Earth, still a distant blue marble. Peaceful. Waiting. What do you think will happen? Plex asked quietly. If Vazix attacks? I shook my head. Nothing good. 16 hours after our imprisonment, the alarms began blaring throughout the ship. The deck beneath us shuddered violently. What's happening? Dorna pressed against the viewport, trying to see outside. A guard rushed past our cell. I called out to him, what's going on? He paused, his face pale with fear. We are under attack. Human vessels just appeared out of nowhere. Dozens of them. They are tearing through our outer defensive line like it's not even there. Another explosion rocked the ship. The lights flickered and died, replaced by the red glow of emergency lighting. They didn't wait the full 18 hours, Talara observed. No, I realized with growing dread. They were ready all along. The deadline was just courtesy. The guard's communication device crackled to life. All personnel to battle stations. This is not a drill. Repeat, all personnel to battle stations. The chaos that followed is still difficult for me to fully describe. The humans didn't just match our technology, they exceeded it in ways that seemed almost magical. Their ships phased in and out of normal space, making them nearly impossible to target. Their weapons bypassed our shields as if they weren't there. Within an hour, half our fleet was disabled or destroyed. Commander Vazix ordered a full retreat, but it was too late. The humans had boxed us in, cutting off our escape routes. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the attack stopped. All Zolarian vessels received the same transmission, broadcast on all frequencies in perfect Zolarian. This is General Maya Patel of Earth Defense Command to the Zolarian invasion fleet. Your vessels have been neutralized and your weapons disabled. You have two options: surrender and leave our solar system under escort, never to return or be destroyed. You have 5 minutes to decide. In the end, High Admiral Kulon himself made the decision. Our remaining ships powered down weapons systems and accepted the humans' terms. As our crippled fleet limped away from Earth, escorted by human vessels that could have destroyed us at any moment, I was released from the brig and summoned to the bridge. Admiral Kulon stood where Vazix had once preened. The commander himself was nowhere to be seen. Captain Naren, the admiral acknowledged me. It seems your reconnaissance mission provided accurate intelligence after all. Too late to be of use, sir, I replied bitterly. Perhaps, Kulon agreed, but not too late to prevent total annihilation. The humans could have destroyed us completely. Instead, they showed mercy. They are not what we thought they were, I said. In any respect. In any respect. No, Kulon said thoughtfully. They are much more. And the Zolarian Empire has much to reconsider about its expansion policies. As our defeated fleet retreated from Earth, I couldn't help but wonder what would happen when we returned home. Would our government acknowledge this humiliating defeat? Would they learn from it? Or would pride and arrogance once again cloud judgment? One thing was certain: the humans had earned their place among the stars. They had faced a technologically advanced empire that sought to conquer them, and they had not merely survived, they had dominated. And somewhere on Earth, I imagine General Patel was already preparing for the next alien empire foolish enough to underestimate humans. Only this time there would be no Zolarians left to warn them. They would learn the hard way, just as we had. That is, if any of them survived long enough to learn anything at all.